Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A Views and Conservative News. And Craig, guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
That's right, folks. Today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as we always like to say, the fun is all in the trying. Looks like you're succeeding today, bruh.
There's no trying today, Craig. Today is hump day, and I am the one being humped without consent today, it seems like. So
Without consent?
I am being humped without consent. I'm on the receiving end. So the beverage
it's a ditty party.
And there ain't no baby oil.
Ain't no, well, then it ain't no party with ain't no ditty party without baby oil.
Yeah, well, I'm getting diddied, that's for sure. So, the partaking has commenced.
Well, sir, I will tell you, for me, it's a little different. The day is going well for a brother. I'm like in terms of like work, literally, this is the last thing I had to do for. I mean, I was like free, hanging out, getting a workout in for a couple hours. I was all good. Then I'm gonna do the program. Then I'm gonna go back to chilling once this is over.
There you go. Chilln, chilling.
Chilln. There you go. You know how we spell it.
That's it.
Good stuff. Really looking forward to the Brett Baer interview this evening. Like I said, it's either
tonight?
going to that is tonight. It's gonna be not long after this program. I still haven't had a chance to watch it because I know that there was the town hall with Donald Trump and over on Fox News with Harris Faulkner. First of all, I really like her, and it'd be very, very interesting because I also know she'll ask him some real questions without being a jerk about it. But she'll ask him some real questions, and I'm looking forward to watching that. I have that on tape delay, shall we say. But lots of good campaign news. But I still believe the Brett Baer interview could be it could be the thing that sinks the Harris campaign. I don't see how it helps but anyway, I think it could be the thing that sinks her campaign.
You know, you say that you're going to watch it on tape delay. I have not watched it yet either. I figure I'll just YouTube it up. But I'm curious. I watch baseball games when it's my team. I can't watch it live unless I'm at the game. I have to watch it tape delay, because they've disappointed me for so long that I can't stand to watch them get beat. So I literally watch. Like if I find out later they won, I watch the game. If they lost, I don't watch the game. I'm curious if you do that with the Cowboys, and if so, what's it like not watching any games this year?
Oh, I watch every game that I can live. Every single one. And if I used your rule, I would have watched at least half the games.
At least half the games, yeah. Well, I mean, baseball you watch at least half the games, and you're still got a shot. But well, I guess in football too. If you win 8 games, you're in the playoffs now.
Now here's the thing with the Cowboys. If I used your rule, I could use a predictor. Seeing as how we've only beaten one team with a winning record. If I decided to use your rule, all I would have to do is look at the record of the team that we're playing. And if they have a winning record, let's watch that one on tape delay. If they have a losing record, I got a good shot at enjoying the game live.
See, baseball's got too many wild cards. Not speaking about playoffs, but just too many factors, too many X factors to do that. You never know. From one day to another, you never know what's going to happen in a baseball field. But yeah, I can't watch it. Can't watch it live. They've disappointed me too many times in the past. I can only watch them on tape delay.
Well, no offense, watching baseball on TV is just I could never get into it. Live games, I love going to live games, but watching it on TV has just never been a thing for me.
It's It's never been an issue for me. I obviously enjoy live games, but I think during the watching them on TV, with the commercials and stuff that they add into it, at least in the ballpark, you're entertained, you're watching, you're curious.
Mm-hmm.
But they go to, all right, it was pitching change. We're going to go to a 1.5-minute commercial break, and then for a 1.5 minutes, you're pulling your hair out. It just as opposed to being at the park, you're like, yeah, give me another dog, let me get another beer.
Well, exactly. The experience, and that's for me, that's just like going to a football game. The being there, being present in the stadium with the fans, with all of the stuff they have to get your attention.
Right.
That's the part of the experience.
Yeah.
You lose that when you're watching it on TV.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know what it's like to leave at the end of the third quarter as a Cowboys fan to really appreciate football.
Never left a game, a Cowboy game at the end of the third quarter, because usually if I'm there in the fourth quarter, I'm usually yelling, "Jerry, sell the team!"
yeah.
In between the boos.
I saw the video. If you were at this last game, you'd have been gone in the third quarter because everybody left in the third quarter. It was just Lions fans left.
No, you'd have been fighting traffic. It'd have been ugly. I'm sure it was ugly. Drown your sorrows. Just stay there. At the very least, just go to your car. Go to where you were doing your tailgating, and enjoy it. Pull out whatever you were drinking and finish it.
Little post-game letdown.
Yeah. All right, folks, it's about that time for us to get into the program. But before we do, we got to do that thing. You know what it is. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Let's say hi to our good friends at Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. If you got your AR in the past couple of years, you probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Now you can buy from them factory direct for your next AR platform build. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you want the best in fighting holsters, combat holsters, tactical concealed holsters, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. They use the discount code, the rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in tactical gear, field gear, web gear, whatever it may be, you can get everything except the gun from uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourself a favor. Visit their websites. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. And when you do, make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That's right, like, share, and subscribe. Let folks know that you partake of the program, and let them know the many ways in which they may partake. Whether it's watching us live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, on Rumble, on Facebook, on Twitter, or whether it's, listening to the podcast on Apple Podcast or on Spotify. Actually, Spotify, you can both watch and listen, or Google Podcast, basically wherever you get your podcast. But like I said before, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and encourage your friends to do the same.
There you go. Do all that stuff.
Do that stuff. Do that stuff. What? Do that stuff.
Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing.
All right.
Throw that deep.
All right. So you folks might recall that Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, spends a lot of time bragging about how she is tough on crime. You know, she's a prosecutor and she's going after a felon and Donald Trump and blah, 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 blah. Well, back in during her time, or I don't know if she wrote it before she became Attorney General or while she was Attorney General for the state of California, she wrote a book called Smart on Crime. Well, in this book, Smart on Crime, if I were to just paraphrase it, it was decriminalize crime, let criminals out on the street, and tell them that if they commit the crime again, they're not going to go to jail. And that is supposed to make our communities safer. That's supposed to be Smart on Crime. Well, as I'm sure you now know from how I have explained it to you, Smart on Crime is just plain dumb, right? There's nothing smart about being smart on crime in the eyes of Kamala Harris. Well, it turns out that, there's a bit of a scandal surrounding that. Turns out, yeah, there were significant sections of her book that were plagiarized. That's right, the content was stolen from Associated Press and other sources, including, get this, Mike, Wikipedia. Let me read a little bit of the story here for you. It says Dr. Stefan Weber, an international famous plagiarism hunter, has discovered that Kamala Harris plagiarized at least a dozen sections of her criminal justice book, Smart on Crime, Christopher Rufo reports. The 2009 work of nonfiction, co-authored by Joan O. C. Hamilton, was her Wikipedia first published as Harris, then the San Francisco District Attorney, was beginning her 2010 campaign for California Attorney General and outlines her vision for how the criminal justice system should function. In his summary findings, Dr. Weber writes, Kamala Harris copied virtually an entire Wikipedia article into her book without providing attribution to Wikipedia. Most damning is that Harris fabricated a source reference inventing non-existent page number, he said. You can read the full report here, and there's a link here at Breitbart. I'll include the link in the comments. But here you can see, once again, the entire sections here that have been copied from from Wikipedia. There's other sections that have been copied from the Associated Press. Once again, here's more from John Jay College of Criminal Justice. And if you notice, the parts that are highlighted the same are the parts that are exactly copied. I mean, we're talking word for word. And the worst part, Mike, is, if you're going to copy from Wikipedia, I don't know about you, but I have always been admonished that Wikipedia is not a reliable source. So if you're going to plagiarize from, first of all, if you're going to reference them, it would probably be smart to footnote it and give them credit so that when it's wrong or when it's incorrect, they get the blame and not you. But if you're not even going to bother to give them credit, then that means that you're the one that's just plain wrong.
Yeah, I honestly believe that people of a certain age, and I mean our age or older, like in the Kamala age, right? That they believe Wikipedia is a verified source kind of organization. Because you hear the word Wikipedia, Craig, and I think our brain hears encyclopedia and thinks that this is a certified truth, knowledge-based kind of thing, as opposed to just anybody on the internet that has a Wikipedia account. And what's it take to get a Wikipedia account? A computer, that's all. Can get on there and edit any Wikipedia page. So I think, again, a lot of people our age or older believe that Wikipedia is, the law when it comes to, or the final word when it comes to those topics. So again, not trying to excuse that, just pointing out that she's an idiot. Okay, she went to a page that clearly says at the bottom, anybody can make can make changes to this page, and not reading the footnotes that tells you who made the changes to that page. So she is pretty much a moron when it comes to that. I will say, props for mentioning John Jay College, one of the premier criminal justice colleges in the United States, of which my father and uncle are graduates.
Ah, very nice, very nice. Yep. Well, I think, though, like I said, the biggest concern I think here with this is, here's a person who we know is not, but let's be honest, she's an intellectual midget. She is.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as an intellectual midget, for her to then turn around and, how shall we say, prove that she is by trying. She tried to be smart by writing a book. Now we know, she probably can barely read a book, but she tried to write a book, and she turns out she actually stole stuff that is in the book. Now, once again, this is the Attorney General, right? This is the Attorney General, or want to be Attorney General. She was the district attorney for the city of San Francisco at the time. Once again, it just doesn't make any sense that she thinks that that's okay. That she would even begin to believe it's okay.
Look at she's an idiot. Listen, there is a time when it's absolutely acceptable to plagiarize as long as you cite the work source, the source that you have it from. When you're quoting statistics and facts the way she did when it came to crime, why go out and reinvent that wheel? John Jay has it, the FBI has it, whoever has it is out there. All you have to do is cite the source and receive credit for it, and they receive credit for it. But when you go out there and you try and make it look like you did this research, so you got the big brain on Brad going on, that's it's you end up looking dumber. Let me ask you this, Craig. How do you feel about AI sources compared to plagiarists?
So what I find you should do with AI is you should always go back and make sure, number one, make sure that you reference the material, that you identify where it came from, because AI doesn't always do their source. A lot of times, if I use AI for research, I'm then, okay, well, they said a study said this, so then I look up the study, right?
Yeah.
I rarely use just like a section pulled out of AI that is that I have not researched myself. I might use the wording, but I don't use the wording without including the follow-up research to make sure that what's there is in fact what is the case.
See, and don't do it as often as I should. I'm a writer. It was a junior, or excuse me, a minor I had as well. I think if you go and say, AI, I need a topic on Facebook, whatever it happens to be, and it spits it out. I don't care if you're citing the statistical fact that it gives you, or even the way it makes up its own sentence and paragraph structure. That's someone else's work, and that's as big a plagiarism as anything else, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, well, once again, I go to the source where they got the information and I cite that. I don't cite AI.
Well, even if it says, again, if the first sentence is the world of Disney is a great place and a magical place, boom, and it says it in that manner, and you take that sentence, there's no facts there to be plagiarized. It's just sentence structure, but it's someone else's sentence structure. If you don't do it yourself, it's plagiarizing.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. My big issue is, once again, when you start looking at the information and whatnot. But yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I don't really utilize it a lot for that unless I'm trying to figure out a way to word something and I can't really. I want to say this in such a way, and I want to try and see if I can word it better than I've worded it. Put it that way.
And I could see that if you use it as I see the way what's done there. Let me change it a little, make it closer to what I mean, though. That's fine. But there are people out there doing complete research papers by typing, one sentence in on what they want, and it spits it out, and they use it as their own.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. I 100% completely agree with you. That right there is plagiarism, unless you note that once again, this was written by AI, and you can say
Right.
it was significantly written, or AI was utilized in the production of this, or sections of this included AI, or no, AI just wrote this.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway, but in this particular case, there was no AI in 2009, or at least none that we knew of. Put it that way.
Right.
And she pretty much just kind of lifted it.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
Which, by the way, then goes to show, well, when she starts talking about stuff, now you know why she can't really talk about it, because she never really studied it. She got it from someone else.
Got it. That's right. That's right.
That dar be the truth. That dar be the truth.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on to our next story. Oh, this is a funny one, and this is funny for this reason. So Bill Clinton, in an effort to try and help Kamala Harris, he starts talking about Laken Riley. Now, you might remember Laken Riley was the Georgia student who basically was killed by an illegal immigrant. And he is now, in this particular case, he decided to kind of talk a little bit about that. But the funny part about it is it didn't make Kamala Harris and her boss there look very good. Check it out.
You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted and that doesn't happen.
I'm Donald J. Trump.
So that was a part of a Donald Trump ad. Now, the funny part about it was he was talking about the border bill, and he was trying to say, well, if they had the border bill and that person had been properly vetted, it wouldn't have happened. Now, Mike, you and I both know that the reason why they weren't properly vetted was because they should have never been let into the country. Right? I mean, correct me if I am wrong.
They should not have been let into the country. Absolutely right. Yeah.
But he did it in a way to try and say, look, this was all Trump's fault because, well, if they had passed the border bill, well, then they would have had enough agents to vet the millions of illegal aliens that are coming into the country. And he forgot the point, or completely and utterly ignored the point that, once again, if you hadn't removed the border protections put in place by Donald Trump, this guy never would have been in the country.
Listen, there's what you say and what you meant to say. And when you're being recorded 24/7, you better be careful on what you say and what you meant to say. Craig, it's like saying something like, I've made friends with school shooters, as opposed to I made friends with the victims of school shootings.
Right. I mean, it was funny. One of the stories that I was considering for today was a McDonald's worker who mistook Bill Clinton for Joe Biden, and now you see why.
Yeah. Well, listen, too much exposure to Hillary will do that to you. You know.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. But they're losing on the border, and they're doing everything possible to try and combat it. By the way, one other thing I wanted to bring up here: did you notice their attempt to reach out to guys? Notice the hat that he's wearing, the camouflage.
Yes, and
Harris
actually,
Walls
I think
hat?
he's wearing a camouflage, so hopefully people don't see it.
I am just like, this is the saddest, most beta male attempt to reach out to white men. I mean, come on, Mike, you are purportedly a white man.
Wait, hold
what
on,
do you
check.
think?
Yep, yeah, I am.
What do you think of their effort to reach out to white middle class voters?
It's cute, right? It's cute. It's kind of like, it's like an 80s movie when the nerd wants to play football. It's cute. It's nice. It's inspirational,
I think it's insulting. I would take just male voters, period.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's what cute means. It's like, oh, look at him, bless his heart. Oh, I'm not voting for him, but
Yeah, it bugs the crap out of me. It bugs me because I think it's very, very demeaning. I think it makes us look bad. I mean, it shows what they think of us. Let's put it that way. It shows what they think of guys.
Yeah.
That the definition of a man is if you're willing to get behind Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Listen, don't get me wrong. I look at them and see what they're doing, and you laugh at them, and you go, they think that's going to work. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Yeah, they should write a Harley Quinn love novel about it. Yeah, that's because it's getting the same attention from me.
It's especially funny watching some of these beta males try and attack you on social media. Oh, well, if you're a real man, I can my woman. I'm like, I love and support my woman. Day. That is
my favorite one is when Beto does it. Yeah. My favorite's when Beto gets up there and tries to do it.
Or Doug.
Yeah. We're gonna take your AR-14s. Oh, we are. Oh, good. You can have all the AR-14s. I'll tell you what, right now, you can have all the AR-14s I have. You can have them for free.
No. I'm gonna make them buy mine back in mandatory AR-14 buyback.
The mandatory AR-14. I'm just gonna for my AR-14s. I don't even care. Just take them.
No, I want their money. So they don't try and buy back anybody's AR-14.
See, then you're contributing to the problem of the deficit. See, that's you're the problem, Craig.
They're gonna spend the money buying back guns. I'm gonna take the money and put it to good use. I'm gonna put it towards buying guns for my for
There
myself.
you go. There you go. Go get you an AR 14.5, one of the new versions
14.5 with the kung fu grip
with the kung fu grip. Yeah, yeah. And it
and a
stretches.
rocket launcher.
Stretches, yeah.
Well, you heard in the debate where Kamala Harris was talking about how the border agents. Well, turns out that not only did they, well, the reason they the border bill was because it was more money for them to hire more people. That means they increased the size of the union. So yeah, but they also recognize that it did not increase border security. And they recognize how, and by the way, they then turn around and came out and endorsed Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for president and vice president of the United States. And it's so bad over there at the border that border agents have said, look, I mean, we hear about people claiming that they're going to leave the United States if Donald Trump is elected president. Well, how about this? How about border agents saying that they're going to quit their jobs if Kamala Harris gets elected? This from the Washington Free Beacon. I'm not doing this again. Border Patrol agents warn of mass exodus if Harris wins election. Border Patrol agents threaten to stage a mass exodus from the agency if Kamala Harris wins the White House in November, saying they won't stick around for another 4 years of hell. Quote, I'm not going to do this again. 4 years of hell, one agent told the New York Post. Quote, lots of guys who can retire will go. If Trump wins, they'll stay, another agent added. Harris, who has been President Joe Biden's point person on immigration, has been largely criticized for her handling of the southern border, as more than 10 million illegal immigrants have come into the country under her watch. Border Patrol agents who talked to the Post anonymously for fear of backlash from their bosses expressed frustration with the Biden-Harris administration's open border policies that have let known criminals enter the country. And the reason why this is important to know, folks, is these are people, this is their job, and they just want to do their job. They don't want to do this with their hands tied behind their back. They want to be able to actually enforce the law. They are law enforcement. And they're basically saying they are not allowed to do their job. They're not allowed to enforce the law. And because they live in those border towns, they see the havoc that it's wreaking on their communities.
Yeah, we saw this happen right 4 years ago, right, with the mass exodus of law enforcement. You know, some places 20, 30, 40% that leave, and you know, with the whole defund the police and the removal of qualified immunity for many of the law enforcement officers. So what you get, Craig, is you get that mass exodus. The early retirees or the retire on times, or those that just say they've had it and they're done. And this is like when you go to rehire, you know, the fry chef at the fast food joint, and the guy certified for work in 2 days. You know, hiring a new law enforcement officer usually takes 6 months of background checks before you get them in, another year's worth of training after that, and then usually to the 5-year mark where they're no longer considered a rookie, and you really, you know, they operate independently and trust them based on their training and experiences. So by the time they all leave when this happens, it's going to be the entire next 4 year of presidency that they will be down, that there will be down law enforcement, even if they got a brand new batch to come in tomorrow, which is still impossible to do because most agencies are still 10, 20, 30% down from where they were because of all the mass retirements and resignations in 2020.
And what's interesting about that is, once again, these are folks. I mean, a lot of these are people who are ready to retire, and they're there because they know they're needed. And when they know that they're going to be abused, that they're going to be lied on, like Joe Biden did when they were accused of whipping Haitian immigrants, you know, if you don't have the support and the backing of those above you, then why would you stay there? Why would you want? Is that a place where you'd really want to work? And their attitude is, well, no. It's like, why should I sacrifice for people who don't appreciate what I'm doing here and won't allow me to do it the way it needs to be done?
Right. Yep. No. Absolutely right. And remember, when they leave, they're not leaving with 1 or 2 years of service. They're leaving. They're taking 20 years of service and experience with them when they go.
Yep. And you can bet they will not be replaced by someone who is as trained and as qualified as they are.
Not for at least, I don't know, about 20 years.
Well, and that's if you get the people, because a lot of people who would have looked at going into that profession, would have looked at taking that job, they're like, well, they see how the current Border Patrol officers are being treated. They're like, well, the people who we want there are going to decide, I don't want that job.
Exactly right. Yep.
It just makes sense. Anyway.
Yep.
You know what, though? I have a feeling we're not going to have to worry about that because Trump is going to win.
T-Rump.
T-Rump. All right. We've got a decision. We got something coming out of SCOTUS here. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because there are a lot of people who believe that if you are an adult, but you are under the age of 21, meaning if you are an adult 18 to 20, for some reason, they believe that you are a second-class citizen. They believe that your rights really don't, you don't get to fully exercise your rights. You get to pay taxes, you get to vote, but you don't get to defend yourself, or in particular, you don't get to defend yourself outside of your home. Well, SCOTUS has made a decision. It says here, SCOTUS stays Pennsylvania law banning people under 21 from carrying guns in public, meaning we're talking about the issue of concealed carry. It says here, Supreme Court reversed a ruling from a lower court Tuesday that previously allowed Pennsylvanians under 21 to carry firearms in public. An appeals court ruled in January that the state law banning 18 to 20-year-olds from carrying firearms outside the house during states of emergencies was unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. In a 2-sentence order, the nation's highest court vacated the ruling and sent the case back to the lower courts to determine if U.S. v. Rahimi, a June decision in federal gun law, impacts the case. Joshua Prince, attorney for the appellates, said he does not expect the Rahimi decision to have any impact on the appeals court ruling. Now, Mike, I'm trying to figure out exactly why it is that people believe that it's okay to deny an adult, by every other account, under the age of 20 or over the age of 21, under the age of 21, an adult, to be able to exercise their fundamental rights, in particular, the right to keep and bear arms.
Yeah, right. If you're 18 to 20 years old, you're an adult, aren't you? Otherwise, if I'm not a juvenile and I'm not an adult between 18 to 20, what am I? Am I just property? Can somebody own me? Can they do what they want with me? Do I have no rights? Do my other rights not apply as well? It's an interesting spot to be in. The media wants you to believe that the Supreme Court said, no, 18 to 20-year-olds can't carry guns. It's not what happened here. They took a look at this and said, hold on now. What are you actually appealing? You're talking about emergency use. You're talking about the law says 21. Send this back to the lower court and tell them to get their act together here, because perhaps we need to be challenging the law itself of 18 to 20s not being able to carry, as opposed to the emergency use of firearms during emergencies, the carrying of firearms during emergency use. So this was not the Supreme Court saying, we don't want 18 to 20s. This was them sending it back to Pennsylvania going, get this right. You guys have not done this right again. You filed on an emergency use portion rather than on an age portion.
Well, exactly. No, I think once again, I think you hit the nail right on the head. And I think too often we don't appreciate how technical the Supreme Court is and how they just the very fact that many of these cases, one of the first things that's often challenged is standing. It's like, well, if the person who's suing never really had a right to sue, what are we doing here? And that's meant to discourage people from suing willy-nilly who have no real right to sue.
Correct. Yeah. frivolous lawsuits. Must have standing to file a
Right. And they're often, believe it or not, places like California, they encourage frivolous lawsuits. They say they don't, but lawsuits against the people they don't like, well, the legislature believes those are not frivolous lawsuits.
highest population per capita of attorneys in California.
Ah, yes. Bad. All bad. All bad. Anyway,
And
that
actors,
then
too,
brings
but
us
that's-
to that brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. All right, this first one that we have here, as you know, Brett Baer is going to be interviewing Kamala Harris this evening. We'll be reporting on it tomorrow, so we'll give you an idea what happened. This here it says Brett Baer is going to interview Kamala Harris on Fox News. How much you want to bet that every answer she gives will have something saying it's Trump's fault or growing up in a middle-class family or for any of her answers? I'm going to say all of them.
How much have you had to drink today, Craig? I'm pretty sure we used that one yesterday.
Did we use? No. You sent it over yesterday. We didn't use it. You sent it over yesterday. We
okay.
didn't use it yesterday.
Maybe I had too much to drink then. Okay.
Maybe you had too much to drink. Yeah. No, dude, you sent some really good ones yesterday. You sent a bunch of them, and we didn't have enough time to include them all, so I decided to include this one today.
Does that mean today you're using some of the cowboy ones I sent?
No, I'm not using any of the cowboy ones you sent.
Damn it.
I would, you know what? Here's what's bad about it. I was looking for some Jets memes, and no one cares enough about the Jets to even bother to make memes about their fans.
As of this morning, the Jets have received Dante Adams in a trade to the way that now they believe they are Super Bowl contenders.
Well, that will be good to see. I actually have Devontae Adams in one of my fantasy football leagues, so it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
By definition, Greg, I believe you and I are also Super Bowl contenders. I mean, so
we are. By definition, we are. Okay. Moving right along. As you know, Barack Obama's been going around doing his thing, pitching Kamala Harris, and here he is doing his thing at the front door, doing his Jehovah's Witness thing. Good morning, sir. Have you accepted Kamala Harris as your Lord and Savior?
Is that Monica Lewinsky with him? Who is that?
That's Gretchen Whitner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Oh. And then finally, you'll love this last one. It's an very interesting video. It's just an example of the word salad that Kamala Harris is known for.
I would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been.
Well, let's just give me a second. Let me process that.
I honestly, I will be honest, I do not know if that was actually Kevin Hart watching what she was saying. I'll tell you this. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, because I believe his response was incredibly appropriate.
Yeah, that was my response as well.
I just, what is she saying?
Nothing. Listen, you and I do video, we do TV, we do radio. When you first start, you're afraid of dead air. So as soon as it goes silent for a moment, you just start putting words out. Words, and that's all she's doing, just throwing words out there.
Yeah, well, I often do that and you may notice sometimes that happens when I'm trying to fix something here and I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Yes.
I admit that but I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I don't do. Not what she does. She's supposed to be prepared for these answers.
Again, I said I was an English minor, right? Already talked about writing. We used to call that the beach ball theory. And what it was say you just took a beach ball and you threw it and it bounced and you were curious what the next bounce was going to be. Where's it going to go? Is it going to go left? Is it going to go right? What's the next word going to be? Where's it going? So it was just every time I see her, I go, that's the beach ball theory. She's got it down.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, folks. So that's going to be about it for today. But before we go, you know what we got to do. Got to give another quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, that's right. Let's say hello to our good friends at Hitman Industry, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get AR rifle and AR pistol barrels, any caliber, any length you desire. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, get your butts on over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors by following the links in the description to this program. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you for liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, remember to send a few down range. Holla!
Pew pew.